It's like we were hit by a fucking baseball bat, and our heads are spinning around. We can't understand how we got here or what's going on. Okay, now here's where we're at. Okay, we've been locked down for 3 months. We have to wear masks. We have to stand apart. We can't have any sex anymore. No sports. No restaurants. You can't fly. All these shit that's going on. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, which is bad enough. And then they murdered all of our grandparents in the fucking old folks' homes. They set all the prisoners free, and they're telling us that they're not even gonna go after the prisoners. Can you believe how it gets thicker? Wait a minute. Let me think of some more stuff here. We're running out of food. We've all lost our jobs. Everybody's committing suicide. Everybody's locked down. We're getting prescribed all these psychotropic drugs under the table. We have no idea how many people are now getting hooked on drugs, how many people have actually died, what actually happened in the old folks' homes. It's a fucking nightmare, and that's just the start of it. Wait a minute. We are being told lie after lie. The WHO, the CDC, they're lying right to our faces, and then putting it in our faces. They said too many people are going to die. Oh no, it's only 50,000 now. You know, well they said that we're going to need 40,000 ventilators. You know, and now we don't need them at all. These are all, and they expect us to still obey the fucking rules when they don't make any sense at all. They're not based on any science at all, and that was proven now because now we also got these riots going on for some reason that we don't really explain. It's not really clear. It's not really BLM. We know that by now. We know this is way beyond BLM or Antifa. It's way beyond. It's a coordinated attack against at least the United States, and actually it appears to be the entire world. I'm just getting going. Wait a minute. They're going to force us into having vaccinations. They've got the systems already in place for that. They're going to use these micro spot things, okay? The president's talking about getting the army to force us to do it. Our president, but the one guy I thought was kind of good, I'm not so sure anymore, you know? They're going to impose location tracking systems on everybody. They're going to track everybody worldwide. They're eliminating all the currency. They're going to digital currency. Most of the small business, all the mom and pop shops have already lost their business. So now it's just all big corporations. You know, if you want to go out and eat, you can eat at McDonald's or you can eat at Burger King, and that's it. Ain't gonna be no Jack's Flapjack Shack down the street. Jack is dead. There is no more food. They're running out of food. You have to stand hours long lines to get food, and you have to stand 6 feet apart and go through all this fucking hoops, jump through fucking hoops. There's no more meat. All the meat warehouses have been shut down. My cousin, he's out of business, man. They've closed down all the stockyards and everything like that. They're not giving us the meat. They're taking the cows and pigs and destroying them and leaving them in pits and landfills. I'm not making any of this up. I never lie ever. I swear to God, I never do. Okay, never ever. Not knowingly. Remember that one? Fucking Brennan. But I really do mean it. I really do. They've shut off all access to all the hospitals, all the old folks' homes, so we have no idea what's actually really going on in them places. They've actually emptied out all of our hospitals, and they've fired all the staff. They've laid them all off. They're depending on volunteers to fill in the void. So they're taking people that were paid, okay? They're firing them, so they're putting them on the unemployment rolls, and they're taking volunteers and having them fill the voids. And what does that do for quality of care? I mean, you know, if you were lucky enough to get sick, all you knew is they came in an ambulance and took you away, and you never saw a face ever after that, because everybody's going to be wearing masks, and it would be just like getting on a spaceship, okay? And you never see anybody's face because they're wearing these, and they're looking down and they go, "Sir, we're going to put a tube in your throat to make you feel a little more comfortable." And then you sit there and fucking gasp and die slowly with nobody there to hold your hand and nobody to talk to. All of us have to die that way now. And when you do die, your relatives can't go to the funeral either. Can't get married. No weddings. Schools are closed. People are going fucking nuts with their kids running around. They're trying to homeschool them without any training in that. A lot of drugs being infused there. They're going to have 600,000 professional snitches going around snitching on everybody, reporting on who's doing what, making sure you got your vaccination. We're going to be required to carry vaccination immunity passports. So they're going to have checkpoints everywhere. We're going to have to go through checkpoints everywhere in order to pass from city to city, from your house to the outside, even from room to room. You're going to need a little pass to go anywhere. It's just like they got a chain on you and they're watching you. You know, it's like 1984 is to the extreme, is beyond anybody's imagination what it could have been when they wrote the book 1984. What we're in right now is so far beyond what 1984's worst possibility is. We're there right now. We're right there. Don't you think everybody's being tracked right now? Our politicians are horribly corrupt. They're lying right and left. If you do go to the hospital or the doctors, they hack you up, cut you up, spit you up, and chew you up and spit you out. They want everybody sick and dying. Everybody's hooked on drugs. Everybody, no matter what. There's predators everywhere, on the street, in your kid's schoolroom, at his Cub Scout meeting, and online. Everything. You have to always worry about shit. You have to worry about people stealing from you all the time. You can work your whole life and poof, it can be gone in an instant. And it happens all the fucking time. You see it all the time. It's scary, right? Yeah. There's all kinds of pollution everywhere. The ocean's full of fucking plastic. Did you know there's an area in the oceans, actually in all three oceans, called the gyres. There's these like little plastic gets chopped in these little teeny bits. And what happens is when it's in the water, it winds up congealing with itself, kind of like it's got a little traction to itself. So that makes like a foam a little bit lighter than water, kind of a mixture, and so it floats to the top. So it's got this like a layer, okay? So many feet deep, maybe 15, 30, 100 feet deep, whatever. And how big is it? Well, how about the size of France? 3 of them. In each ocean's got that. And the fish and the turtles, they swim, they get all the shit in their gills, you know. There's dead zones around most of our river outlets where nothing can swim or crawl for like Louisiana. 50 mile radius around Louisiana. Nothing can swim or crawl. And then you got oil slicks and oil pollution, air pollution, radiation pollution. Oh, you always got your depleted uranium. You got radiation from you got the 5G. I mean, we're getting roasted alive. We're getting poisoned. You got birth control pills that got into our water systems, turning the frogs gay, and that's a true story. Poor old Alex Jones, man. You got your military-industrial complex who sucks the life out of everybody, and they just keep the money. Did you know that the day before 9/11, I'm not making this up, everything I say is true, you can Google anything I say anytime, okay? The day before 9/11, did you know that they had a little meeting in the Pentagon? Remember Rumsfeld? He was leading. He said, you know what? We just lost $3.2 trillion. We lost it. It's gone. Poof. And the next day, the airplane hit the Pentagon and the office of the budget analysts. And so that money was gone. And you remember the Enron scandal? That was up in Building 7, which also was collapsed. So the Enron scandal disappeared. That was like billions of dollars, and the Pentagon, $3.2 trillion got vaporized somehow. in the rubble of 9/11 somehow. These are all true things I'm telling you guys. They also found in the basement of the World Trade Center, somebody was stealing gold. So somebody knew it was going to happen, and they already had this gold. It was already down. They found this big, like this container, like a cart with gold, and it was halfway down this track. And there was gold bars like laying all over the. Somebody was already taking the gold while before the towers were even falling. So how did they know about that? All true, all true. We were told that Saddam Hussein was poisoning us all with anthrax, and that he had weapons of mass destruction, and we were all convinced that he was an evil man. And so we went and we attacked Iraq, a sovereign nation. We just attacked them unprovoked. Not really unprovoked, because those three things I said, they were all false. And they also tried to link him with 9/11. So those are all reasons to attack Iraq. Turned out to all be fucking lies. We were told these lies. We got behind it. We were all patriotic, remember? And it turned out to all be lies. When 9/11 fell down, they wrote something called the Patriot Act. Within 30 days, it was already signed. And when they presented to everybody, they said, it's too important. You have to sign it before you read it. And that was written before 9/11. So, the Patriot Act was already written weeks, months before 9/11 ever happened. You can't write a document that fast in 30 days. That all-encompassing a document that says, that established the FISA courts, that took all our rights away, that gave Brennan the power to wiretap. That was all in the Patriot Act. Oh, how patriotic, man. Our government really came through for us there, didn't they? Yeah. Now, because of that FISA Act, that spilled over all the way to Trump's administration. That's what happened in 9/11, but nobody knows that because we're fucking lied to every day. That's another little problem we have to face. All right? And now we got the riots, the looting, the riots. They're destroying cities. They're burning houses down. They're attacking people. They're pulling them out of their cars. If you give them any shit at all, they focus on you. If they want to come in your house, they expect you to sit there and just not cause any problem at all. Cause any problems, they'll beat the fucking. They'll knock your teeth out. They'll hit you with a 2x4 and a ladder, like they did that couple in New Jersey when they tried to defend their jewelry store. If you have an American flag in front of your house, they'll burn it down, as they're doing in California right now. We are given a whole slew of demands now from BLM, Antifa. We thought they were clowns like nothing, but now it turns out, yeah, they're very powerful and formidable force, and they reveal this to us slowly, like it's an onion they're peeling. I just read that article a couple of days ago that they said BLM is not just a small group; they actually are political strong. They start mentioning all the lawyers, all the stuff that if you had a half a brain, you would have researched it already, but nobody even has a half a brain because nobody knows enough to even know where to look, because our heads are spinning because we were hit by a fucking baseball bat. We don't know where to look. We're all confused over who to listen to because everybody's lying, because everybody's got an underlying motivation to fuck you over. And this is what we have to go through as individuals. We're trying to survive, and yet we're lied to at every turn. But it gets better. Now, just in the last week, we are told. I mean, you cannot make this up. We're told, honestly, to go on our bookshelves and take all the books by all white authors and burn them. And all Confederate flags have to be removed from everything. Anything Confederate at all has to be completely destroyed and obliterated. They has to be wiped from history. As stupid as that sounds. Hey, you remember this expression, never forget? Where'd that come from? Remember that? Never forget. never again. Remember those little expressions? But in the last week, we're being instructed to obliterate certain facets of history. In this case, the Confederate people, but that's just the start, you know. If they can do that, they can do anything. You know that. You know how these things go. Our leaders are complete clowns, like the mayor of Chicago. She's a fucking clown. Her city is fucking burning, and her aldermen are begging her, and she goes, "Yeah, okay, next question." She won't even answer the guy's question. And let me get finally around to the governor of Michigan, Governor Whitmer, who specifically ordered that sick patients be put in with old people, people that aren't exposed, people that are definitely at risk, and murdering people. And to this day, the order is still in place. After all these months, she still has sick people in with old folks in group homes. She still, to this day, has got it that way. When they asked her about it, she said, "Hey, you guys are threatening me at the Capitol with flags and guns. I can't do that. That was a peaceful protest." And that these people in the peaceful protest were demonized. They were a lot of people wanted to actually kill those people because they thought they were spreading the disease. And then a week later, here's our Governor Whitmer marching along with these protesters. And then the biggest slap in the face of all. I mean, well, it got worse and worse. I mean, this burning the books, and that's a whole nother level, okay? And the riots and shit like that. But the biggest slap in the face was when the CDC and the WHO went and said, "Yeah, you know what? Here's our actual stance on this. Coronavirus is very dangerous. You got to stay in your place, locked down. But if you have to protest for the black people, that's okay." And that means that science means fucking nothing, and nothing means anything anymore. The world's completely topsy-turvy, and we don't know who to turn to, okay? Now, all right? Can you believe it? Am I dreaming? Is this a dream? Did Satan come from the pit and take over? Literally, I'm serious, man. I mean, something happened. You know, they had me all the way up to the point where they started wrecking the statues and the war memorials and defacing the Lincoln Memorial of all fucking things, and then telling us to remove the books. When they did that, it became a dream, okay? It became like an unreal nightmare. It's a nightmare at this point. I don't understand how we are even in this situation possibly at all. It's impossible. It's fucking impossible. If you asked any sane person 5 years ago, was this possible? No fucking way. Are you kidding me? No way. And yet, here we are. Welcome to reality. It's the 12th of June, 2020. It's Marty Walmart from Livonia, Michigan. I'm wondering what's happening. I'm actually believing that some country has acquired some kind of a weapon, and they're just telling us, like, maybe, let's say North Korea has some kind of a weapon that let's say they have a weather weapon and they can unleash it anytime, and they proved it by wiping out Memphis in those tornadoes that were back on March 2nd or whatever. Or maybe they flooded the area in Michigan that caused those two dams to break just to prove that they had the weapon. And maybe Trump has to yield and do all this shit. Tell people to actually burn their fucking books, to remove statues and change history and gut the whole nation out. When I look at AOC and Ilmar, the look in those guys' face, they've got some kind of a look. As if as if they're in control. They've got to look at them, man. They've got to look like, it's almost like they've got complete control, power, that they can do anything they want to do, and they know it, and they're just going to do it. And we better listen. Just look at her face. I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, am I paranoid? Or is this reality or what? I don't think I'm paranoid, man. This is reality. I'm not even talking about the conspiracy theories of George Soros and all the crazy stuff that, Bill Gates and the vaccinations and his plan to vaccinate the world and all the stuff that actually is real. I'm just saying what we actually have been presented with in real life. How can anybody cope with it? We're weakened to the point that we've already snapped, and we're feasting on ourselves. There's a breed of snail, or maybe it's a horsefish. What are those called? Anyway, if he's got like 100 little babies all around, okay, and he's worried about his offspring being successful or not, okay, but sometimes he tries to keep them around. What are those things called? The little horsefish, Anyway, tries to keep his babies safe, but if enough other animals start eating enough of his babies, of her babies, then at some point the fish gives up and says they're not going to be able to protect themselves anymore at all. So in order to just make things as good as possible, the horsefish turns around and eats the babies. He figures, why let them eat them? If they're going to die anyway, I might as well eat them myself. That's where we're at right now. We're feasting on our own selves. We're devouring our own selves. And you got to wonder. I'm going to leave you with one thing. You guys ever hear of the Georgia Guidestones? It says that it's a structure that they found in Georgia. I guess some guy actually did build it. I don't know. It just kind of appeared. It's just kind of a weird building. And on the top of it, it says, we have to limit the population of the world to 500 million. The population of the world right now is 7.5 billion. So that means that 7 billion people have to die. And what better way to do it than to make them eat each other and feast on each other, just like horsefish. Bye-bye.